What's happening? Andy here. I am joined today by Gary Lavin of CEO Juice. How are you, Gary?
I am excellent. Thank you, Andy.
Excellent. Well, what's happening? We are here to talk a little bit about AI, talk about ChatGPT, and talk about some ways that dealers can use it, have used it, and also about how you guys have been using it. You've been as far as I can remember, the first ones that had it on your website, AI for dealers. This has sort of been your pitch as long as I've known you. So let's talk about AI. Let's give us just a quick rundown. Give us the background. What's CEO Juice? What do you guys do?
It kind of leads into how some of the naming has changed. So originally, that tagline was automated processes for your business. And an automated process is just a way of, making something that is done manually happen automatically. But now it's called AI, which is essentially the same thing. But so we've been doing automated processes for 20 years. Uh, but we changed our tagline maybe 7 or 8 years ago to be AI for your dealership because it was the current buzzword. It used to be like, when you would ask Google if something was a cat or a dog, that was called pattern recognition. But today it's deep learning. It's essentially the same technology. However, the computing power is increasing and we're able to do a lot more, a lot quicker. But it's essentially the same technology. So we have been automating processes. And typically that means if you are looking at some of your data or you're looking at a report and something catches your eye and go, either wow in a good way or a bad way, but you go, how the hell did that happen? And has that happened before and I didn't know about it? Then our system is designed to tell you about exception reporting. So tell you about stuff that you feel you need to know about. And then the next level of that is when we tell you, we copy whoever it is you would ask to go check on it. And the next level of that is we chase that person that you asked to go check on it to make sure that it's fixed. And the next evolution of that is we just fix it for you. But it's all the kind of same way of something in your business doesn't happen as expected, and you want to make sure that going forward it won't happen again.
Well, it's funny. We got right into it, and what you just described really brought up some memories of a dealer meeting that I was just at, where I was speaking at this meeting, and one of the things they were talking about was there were two guys in this room. They had a breakout on in front of their peers. It was a peer group where they were talking about identifying employee theft. Are your employees stealing from you? And two guys in that room um, both found some significant stealing going on within their organization. One of them was over seven figures, I believe. And both of them, the common theme was they found it through your software. And it's, I know that's not what it was designed to do, to catch, people stealing from you. It's really designed to keep your business running, right?
No, it is. I mean, it's designed to catch anything that should not be happening.
And so you
And
you save these guys. I mean, it went on for a while. Maybe they should have worked with you earlier, or maybe they should have, had the reports set up differently or looked at them differently. But you
paid more
save these
attention
guys.
to the reports.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have to
people are
pay
in
more
jail now
attention to
because of
reports.
this. And so how is it? Tell me, what would it be? What's the AI have to do with gathering that data and then putting it in a presentable way that helps these dealers look at it in a way that they can use that and find these things? How has that all come together?
Well, if you think about it, right? Let's say I want a check comes in from somebody and I want to steal that check, right? Well, how am I going to steal that check? I have to do something to the data to make it look like that check was never needed.
To make it look normal, right?
And
Yeah.
to make it look normal, the easiest way would be to void the invoice that the check was paid, right? And so in the automate, when you void an invoice, uh, there's a setting which says you have to put a note, but not everybody turns that setting on. But even if you turn that setting on, then then somebody could type in some arbitrary note that really maybe wasn't a big deal. But what we're doing is we're saying, here's a list of invoices that were voided today, and the reason the people say they were voided, and the person who voided it. So from there, somebody's got to be looking at that report to say, okay, this seems to be kind of a consistent theme where we're writing off this invoice and what's going on there.
Yeah. So there's a way for you guys to, and what was really cool was they found the people that were stealing from them were devious. I mean, they were double billing things. There were whole sets of
Yeah.
invoices they were creating, and it took some serious forensics to go through. But what came out of it was, it was your software that was able to document everything, and that's not what they were initially using you for. But boy, were they glad that they had you to help them get through these situations. And let's move on a little bit and talk about, where do you think AI is going with our industry? And again, it is such a buzzword. It's been around for a long time, and ChatGPT and Bing, these things have really gotten in front of people in our world quite a bit and created a lot of, thought-provoking discussions, let's just call it, and call them. And where do you've been using this stuff for a long time, or a bit of it, and where do you see it going? Where can it be helpful for dealers? What should they be, what are some things they might be looking at, in your opinion?
So let's talk about, say, ChatGPT and that type of technology as a little different from the automated processes that we just discussed. So, so what ChatGPT essentially is, it's a model where you load it with training material. And in the case of ChatGPT, it was pretty much almost everything on the internet got loaded into this model. And so when you ask ChatGPT a question, it's basically just searching through everything that was ever put on the internet, whether it's a movie, a text, a blog, whatever, to find what it can relate it to that. And then it does a very nice job on kind of predicting what words go in a row. And so it gives you an answer based on historically what's out there, but it's not really intelligence yet, right? It's only able to feed you up what it's seen historically. And sometimes that works really well, and sometimes it's off the mark. Where what you also have to know about ChatGPT is, so the model is a couple of years old now, but every search you do, that data gets stored for ChatGPT's future searches. So you can't be asking it too many sensitive questions because that data is out there in the wild afterwards. So one of the first things we looked at was a way to take a long help desk ticket that's probably come in via email, and maybe there's 20 or 30 emails in the thread, and we want to try and summarize that in one paragraph. So whoever's going to take over the ticket, has a quick summary. And we built that piece and it worked, but then we realized, well, hell, we have to take all the sensitive data out of here, and so it gets very complicated. You are able to, and we have implement a local version of ChatGPT, and where we're looking to use it today is to be able to search through all of our documentation. So our chat on our website, when you type in there, it's going to search through the multiple different places where we store data and offer up an answer based on our data. And that where we're hitting issues there is just on performance, trying to, because ideally it should be almost as fast as a Google search.
Yeah.
So when you ask ChatGPT something, it's almost as fast as a Google search. But there's that's kind of where it will go in the short term. But as the technology evolves, who knows where it's going to go.
So dealers, you think I can see, I started on the sales side, right? And that's where I spent my career at the dealership I worked for. I could see it, being used to write proposals. I could see it being used to write demo scripts and all sorts of things. How about the service side? Do you think there's cases where dealers, especially larger ones in that private chat that you mentioned, that subscription, do you think there's a use for the service side as well? Is all parts of the dealer, or is it really relegated to sales?
No, the service is a big use application. There's already a company that has built a process around and they integrated it into ConnectWise, but the whole idea is to be able to search all the different places where you store data to offer up suggestions to the technician as to, when this error code has come up before, what has been the resolution. And we're seeing, HP's leading pretty well on this, where if I have a particular HP model with X number of clicks on it and it has this error code, what is most likely the resolution and what parts are most likely going to be needed? And we're already building processes around that, where when the tech is dispatched to a call, the device is able to say, hey, there's a 98% chance you need that part and you don't have it in your car stock. So, get the part before you go out there.
I mean, it's just, the more we talk about it, the more uses I can see. Like the big question I now have is, where does a dealer turn for expertise on this? Who do you go to, there's no, this is so new, right? Some of it, and some of it has been around a little while, but where is the expertise found? Obviously, they can turn to you for the type of things that you do, but you don't do all the things that we were just talking about and discussing. So, do you have any idea where a dealer could look for some of this information, or are there people out there that are becoming, experts in this that can really coach you through this, or the consultants? It's so new. How do you find them?
Well, we are doing a lot of this, and we are working. So everything we talked about so far, we're doing.
Okay.
We are also, though, looking at some of the new experts in different areas. And so there'll definitely people, and I wish I could remember those ConnectWise guys' names. I'll give it to you afterwards so you can post it in the link, because they're doing some cool things.
Well, we can get them in touch with Schweitzer at the very least, and he can point them in the right direction. John Schweitzer over there, right? So, and Jenna, we can definitely get them once she's back. We'll point people over towards them. That would be a great start.
But as the technology evolves, there will be people who will offer to implement it for you. That's just the way the business works, right?
Yep.
And so we'll try and implement the low-hanging fruit, the easy stuff. Some of the bigger dealers will just do it themselves because that's what they do.
Yep. Do you think
but
these
it's
guys
really just
do you think these guys are going to be able to get the, I mean, a lot of the dealers are, you're starting to see it pop up on their websites, chat bots, which you see on all websites now, right? And it's, you only have to use it once or twice before you realize that there's no intelligence behind those. But you have to think that once ChatGPT gets involved and they redo those bots, they're going to be a lot more intelligent. Do you think they'll be able to sell? Do you think they'll be able to actually have conversations with you, pick a printer, help you pick some merchandise, and actually sell it for you? Do you think we'll get to that?
Yeah, or redirect you to an e-commerce site where there's a price configuration already built in there. Yeah, all that stuff is kind of happening now, right? So you can see e-commerce is starting to be something that people are looking at. There's a few players getting in there, kind of
Yep,
like the
Keypoint, and
industry
there's a couple
experts.
others. Yep, yep. We've got a few of them in our industry, but e-commerce is definitely a big I'd say it's a big trend right now. The last 12, 18 months, that's one of the things we see at a lot of the conferences. And that fits right in there with that too, right? So it's really, it just seems like it's something that every dealer may find a different use for this.
Yeah, and so I'll give you an example of a cool technology that we just started working on last week, which we do a lot of Power BI dashboards, and I was curious, how our customer base was distributed, especially in North America. Like, what states did we have X number of customers? And so we kind of started by geotagging all our customers, and then seeing how long they'd been with us, how long they'd been a customer for. But then we overloaded a weather map, and it had real time weather. And then we were able to say, well, how cool would it be if we knew that this tornado was going to hit these 5 clients in about 6 hours' time, and they were likely to go down? Or cool would it be for our clients' customers, if our client is in the managed IT space, to be able to say, okay, we need to do a backup on these guys because they're probably going to get hit by this earthquake, this wildfire, this tornado. All that type of
Yeah.
stuff is available out there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Just to be able to proactively protect your customer and to offer that as a service, and to be able to say, look, we've got you, if you natural disaster or anything, we'll be here before you need us, right? So the applications are are going to be really fun to watch as they roll out. They really will.
Exactly.
So this was great. I'm super appreciative of you coming on and taking some time to chat with us about this. Is a hot topic. Always interested to see what your thoughts are on it. You are, in my opinion, the first one to start talking about it. So whenever we want to talk about some of this AI, I feel like I feel a bit obligated to come chat with you about it and see what your thoughts are and pick your brain. So thanks for spending some time with us, Gary.
Yeah, and every so often we do a webinar on some cool new stuff. We have one this Friday at noon Pacific. Remind me to send you a link. And you
Yes,
can
please.
check that in there as well.
We'll put that in the bottom of our description for the video, and anyone who wants to sit in on that, just sign right up. And these are invaluable to people in our world. I've heard people talk about them, the $1 million+ that this one dealer saved because your software helped him find that bad person in his company, who would still be doing it if he couldn't figure that out. They would have been stealing from him forever. And you work too hard for that to just let that happen.
Agreed.
All right,
Yeah.
Gary, great
All right,
seeing you.
Andy.
Take care. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.